Listen very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you in the next few minutes could be the difference between protecting your rights and losing everything you've worked for in this country. There are 3 simple words that every single immigrant in the United States needs to memorize right now, whether you're documented, undocumented, have DACA, a work permit, or you're waiting for your green card. These 3 words are your constitutional shield, and the fact that most immigrants don't know about them is exactly what the system counts on. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Immigration enforcement is escalating across the country. More people are being detained, more families are being separated, and in the middle of all this chaos, there's one thing that can protect you, and that's knowledge. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to say if ICE ever shows up at your door, stops you on the street, or approaches you at your workplace. You'll know what not to say, and you'll understand rights you have that nobody talks about. So here are the first 3 words you absolutely must memorize right now. I remain silent. That's it. 3 words that invoke your 5th Amendment right under the United States Constitution. But there are 3 more words that are just as powerful, and those words are, I want lawyer. You don't even need perfect grammar. I want lawyer is enough to invoke your 6th Amendment right to legal representation. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, but I'm not a United States citizen, so do these constitutional rights really apply to me? And the answer is yes, absolutely yes, 100% yes. The 5th Amendment to the Constitution says no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. Notice that word. It says person, not citizen. The 14th Amendment guarantees due process of law to all persons within U.S. jurisdiction, not just citizens. This has been confirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States multiple times throughout history. Your constitutional rights exist the moment you step onto U.S. soil, regardless of your immigration status. But here's what makes me frustrated. ICE agents and immigration enforcement officials are absolutely counting on you not knowing this information. They benefit from your fear and your silence, but not the kind of silence I'm talking about. They benefit when you're too afraid to assert your rights. Let me explain to you why staying silent is actually your superpower in these situations. Every single day across this country, immigrants answer questions they have every legal right to refuse, and those answers get used against them in immigration court. Think about this scenario. It's 6 a.m, and there's a loud knock on your door. Your heart starts racing. You look through the window and see people in uniforms. An agent calls out asking if you're home and then asks, where were you born? It seems like such a simple, harmless question, doesn't it? But if you answer Mexico or Guatemala or El Salvador or anywhere outside the United States, you have just provided them with direct evidence of foreign citizenship, something they may not have actually been able to prove on their own. Here's another question they commonly ask. When did you come to the United States? If you answer this question, you have potentially just admitted to unlawful entry or overstaying a visa. You literally just handed them the evidence they needed to build a deportation case against you. Or how about this one? An agent asks, are you Maria Rodriguez? Or whatever your name is. Even confirming your identity can be used against you if they don't actually have solid proof of who you are. This is exactly why silence is not suspicious. Silence is smart. Silence is your constitutional right. The legal system in the United States operates on a fundamental principle called burden of proof. The government has to prove their case against you. You do not have to help them do it. You are not required to be a witness against yourself. When you remain silent, you're not being rude or difficult or uncooperative. You are exercising a fundamental right that exists precisely for situations like these. Immigration attorneys all across the country will tell you the exact same thing. The single biggest mistake that people make during ICE encounters is talking. People try to explain their situation. They try to cooperate because they think it'll help. They believe that if they're just honest and polite, everything will somehow work out okay. But the hard truth is that ICE agents are not your friends. I'm not saying they're bad people, but their job is to enforce immigration law and build deportation cases. Anything you say, even things that seem completely innocent, can and absolutely will be used against you in immigration proceedings. So let's talk about what you actually do if ICE shows up at your home, because this is information that could save your future. Step 1, and this is critical, Stay calm and do not open the door. I know your heart is going to be pounding. I know you're going to be terrified. But take a deep breath and understand this. You do not have to open your door to ICE unless they have a warrant signed by a judge. And I'm not talking about an ICE warrant or an administrative warrant. I'm talking about a judicial warrant signed by an actual judge with a court seal on it. If someone knocks on your door and identifies themselves as immigration enforcement, you can talk to them through the closed door or through a window. Here's exactly what you say. I am exercising my right to remain silent. Do you have a warrant signed by a judge? If they claim they have a warrant, tell them to slide it under the door or hold it up to a window where you can photograph it and read it carefully. You need to check for specific things. Is there a judge's signature on this document? Is this a warrant to search the premises? Or is it just an administrative immigration warrant with a name on it? Does the address on the warrant match your address exactly? Here's something most people don't know. If they only have a deportation warrant or an administrative warrant with someone's name on it, that does not give them the legal right to enter your home without your permission. They need a judicial search warrant signed by a judge to enter your home without consent. Step 2, do not sign anything, and I mean anything. ICE agents may present you with forms and documents. They might tell you it's just routine paperwork. They may pressure you or tell you it'll make things easier. Do not sign a single thing without speaking to an immigration attorney first. Some documents, even ones that look harmless, could be you waiving your right to a hearing or agreeing to voluntary departure from the country. Once you sign certain papers, you may lose your right to fight your case in immigration court. Step 3. Clearly invoke your rights using the words I taught you. If agents continue asking you questions, here is your script. I am exercising my right to remain silent. I do not consent to you entering my home. I want to speak to a lawyer. Then stop talking. Don't explain yourself. Don't justify. Don't tell them about your pending applications or your citizen children or your work permit. Just stay silent. Step 4. If it's safe to do so, document everything. Take videos or photos through your window. Write down badge numbers and names if you can see them. Note the time and date. This documentation can be absolutely crucial later if there are rights violations or if you need to file a complaint. One more really important thing about home visits. If you have roommates or other people living in your home, make sure they know not to open the door and not to give consent for a search. If one person in the home lets ICE inside, they can enter even if it's not their residence. Now let's talk about what happens if ICE approaches you in public, because the rules are slightly different. Whether you're at work, on the street, at a store, or in your car, you still have rights. You still have the right to remain silent even in public spaces. If an agent approaches and starts asking questions, you can say, I am exercising my right to remain silent. Am I free to go? If they say yes, you should leave calmly. Don't run, just walk away. If they say no, then you're being detained, and at that point you say, I want to speak to a lawyer, and then you stop talking. Do not run from immigration agents. Running can give them reasonable suspicion to chase and detain you, and it can also be seen as evidence of consciousness of guilt or unlawful presence. Stay calm. Walk away if you're told you're free to go, but never run. Here's something critical. Do not lie. Do not give false information. Don't give a fake name. Don't claim to be a United States citizen if you're not. False claims to U.S. citizenship can result in permanent bars to nearly all immigration benefits. Lying to a federal agent is also a separate federal crime. Your best option is always to remain silent. You're not lying and you're not incriminating yourself. What about identification? This is something people ask about all the time. The rules vary by state. Some states have stop and identify laws that require you to provide your name if law enforcement has a reasonable suspicion that you've committed a crime. However, you generally do not have to answer questions about your immigration status, where you were born, or show immigration documents during a random encounter. If you're driving and you get stopped, you do need to provide your driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance, but you can still remain silent about immigration questions. Let's talk about what happens if you are detained by ICE, because you need to know what comes next. The moment you're detained, invoke your rights immediately and clearly. Say this out loud. I am invoking my right to remain silent. I want to speak with a lawyer. I do not consent to any search. If they keep asking questions, repeat these exact words. Do not sign anything while you're in custody without talking to an attorney. ICE will often present forms asking you to agree to voluntary departure or asking you to waive your right to a hearing. These documents might be presented to you in English, even if that's not your primary language. Do not sign them. Once you sign certain documents, you lose your ability to fight your case in immigration court. You have the right to make a phone call. Use it. Call a family member, your emergency contact, or an immigration attorney if you have one. There are free legal resources available. You can contact the Immigrant Legal Resource Center, your local ACLU chapter, or local immigration legal services organizations. Make sure someone on the outside knows the name of the detention facility where you're being held. Unless you sign a document waiving your rights, you have the right to appear before an immigration judge. You have the right to present evidence, to have witnesses testify on your behalf, and to be represented by an attorney at your own expense. The government will not provide a free lawyer in immigration cases the way they do in criminal cases, but you still have the right to hire one or find pro bono representation. Now I want to talk about protecting your family, because this might be the most important part of this entire video. You need to create a family emergency plan today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Identify a trusted person who can take care of your children if you're detained. This should be someone you trust completely. Give this person a power of attorney for educational and medical decisions for your children. Make sure your children know this person's name and contact information. Put together an emergency folder right now. Include birth certificates for you and your children, any immigration documents you have, custody papers if applicable, contact information for an immigration attorney, and phone numbers for immigrant rights organizations in your area. Keep one copy at home in a safe place and give another copy to your emergency contact person. This next part is difficult, but you need to teach your children what to do if immigration agents come to your home. Your children should know not to open the door to anyone if you're not home. They should know to call your emergency contact immediately. If anyone asks them questions, they can say, "I don't know," or "I need to call my parent." If you have children who are U.S. citizens, this can be an important factor in your immigration case. Make sure any attorney you work with knows about your children and their citizenship status. Let me clear up some dangerous myths that put people at risk every single day. Myth number 1. If I cooperate fully, they'll let me go. This is false. Cooperation usually means giving them exactly the evidence they need to deport you. Myth number 2. I have nothing to hide, so I should answer their questions. This isn't about hiding anything. Even innocent answers can be misinterpreted or used against you in ways you don't expect. Myth number 3. They already know everything about me anyway. Don't assume they have information they might not actually have. Make them prove their case. Myth number 4. If I ask for a lawyer, I'll look guilty. Requesting an attorney is a constitutional right and cannot legally be used as evidence against you. Myth number 5. This doesn't apply to me because I have DACA or a work permit. Wrong. These rights apply to everyone, regardless of status. Here's the bottom line. Knowledge is power, and today you've gained real power. You now know the words that protect you. I remain silent. I want lawyer. You know these rights belong to you, not because of where you were born, but because you're a person on United States soil. But knowing isn't enough. You have to act on this information. Share this video with every immigrant you know. This information keeps families together. Create your emergency plan this week. Find an immigration attorney's number and save it in your phone right now. Practice saying these words out loud until they feel natural. In a moment of panic, you'll fall back on what you've practiced. Your silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Your rights aren't favors. They're constitutional guarantees. Your family's future is worth protecting. The system is intimidating, but you are not powerless. You have rights. Use them. Protect yourself and the people you love. Stay informed, stay strong, and remember, you are not alone in this.